Well,
Well,
Built for the Storm. Cheers.
cheers.
What a great event that was. What do you think? We had a whole bunch of folks that joined us for the Built for the Storm conference, our first ever Built for the Storm conference, right? Back as of this recording, about a month ago, right?
Yep.
It was a great event. Wasn't it fun to see people there? We probably knew most of the folks that showed up at that conference.
We knew everybody but probably half a dozen.
Half a dozen, five or
Yeah.
six people maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. We had folks from all over come into this thing, from Texas and from Denver and from Seattle.
But
11
the
miles
folks
away.
that we didn't know, we knew their leaders
Yeah.
very well.
That
That's
was
why they
great.
were there.
So that was a lot of fun. It was super fun for me. I've been working on all that stuff from our research for several years, and then to be able to put it all together in a 2-day conference was incredibly fun. Very, very enjoyable. You're the one that did all the hard work, though. I just showed up and looked pretty, right? And you did all the hard work. What did you have to do to get ready for this conference?
It wasn't really that. I mean, I just like attention to detail. And like I always say, if I want it done right, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
But I was just, all the years that we've gone to conferences, because this is pretty much the biggest conference I put together.
Right.
And I don't know, I just like the challenge of making sure everything is perfect.
Yeah.
It was fun. I had a blast doing it.
This is very cool.
It was, I work well under pressure.
Yeah.
And as the time was getting closer and closer and closer, my to-do list got longer and longer and longer.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of the last minute things that need to be done.
And you just kicked your creative brain into high gear. There's a bunch of really cool, subtle things that were a part of that conference that set it up so that we could really concentrate on the material, but also people could walk away with some cool stuff.
Yeah, it was fun.
Very nice.
It was a blast. I mean, I had people come up and asked if we hired an events company to do it, and I just said, no, I'm in charge of overhead and we have to save money, so I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a big compliment.
Yeah, it really was. Folks felt welcomed. At least they came up and told me afterwards they felt welcomed, and they felt like it was very special and that they were special, which indeed they were. And it was very cool to be around a bunch of people. Many of them, their stories we actually know. We know some of the storms that they've been through or are going through. And so to be able to get all together in a room like that with people from a whole bunch of different kind of organizations and careers and stages in their careers and in their life, it was very rewarding.
It was, I think if I were to tell anybody and give them a secret on how to set up a conference or how to prepare for it, is to vicariously live and work through that person that's going to be attending your conference.
Yeah.
So like if I walk in, what am I going to experience? What am I going to see to make this like, wow, this is going to be worthwhile.
Yeah.
So that's
You
a
did a really
big
good
part.
job at that. Really good job at that.
Yeah.
The venue was great too. It was very enjoyable.
It was.
Yeah. So we were able to put out some ideas that if you were there, I know you'll remember them, and you got all the materials that were sent to you digitally after the conference. And the basic ideas are that folks who are built for the storm are what we call a robust person. They're not just resilient. They're certainly not fragile. And they're not resilient. That's a person who makes it through storms and they're like, that's a relief. But a person who's built for the storm is someone we call a robust person. That's somebody who, because of the storm, is better. And they have a mindset that the storm is the norm and calm waters are rare. Mm-hmm. So we were able to unpack a lot of the stuff we've been researching over the years about folks who are like that. What's true of them? And there were 4 themes that came out of that, a bunch of different ideas, but 4 basic themes. And that is that if you're going to be built for the storm, you have to have a really clear purpose that's outside of yourself and for someone else that is very compelling and challenging. You got to know what it is, you got to say it, you got to use it to make decisions. Then you have to build a group of people around you who are like that, who are aligned with that, and that provides a sense of belonging. And then from that, we have to be able to cultivate a deep sense of hope. The idea is that by going through these storms, deliberately or not, by being robust people and being engaged over a long period of time, that we really do fundamentally believe that we can make things better. That's hope. And then the last thing they need to be able to have is grit. You just got to stay with it.
Yep.
When you're in the middle of a storm, you don't know how long it's going to last, and water's hitting you in the face, and fish are slapping you in the head, and the sails are ripping and all that. You just got to be able to stick through it. So these are the 4 things that we talked about.
Right.
And I think it's stuck with people pretty well. We've heard a lot from folks since then about how meaningful it was to them. And we're really grateful.
Yeah, I heard from a couple of people it was the best conference that they've ever been to, and they've been to many conferences.
Yeah.
And it hit a lot of good points for them. I mean, everybody had taken away certain things from the conference, but it hit a lot of people, with realistic challenges that they face every day. And I think that, it was a great feeling to hear that people really, really thought it was the best conference they had ever been to.
Yeah.
So,
did you have any moments that really stood out for you that were thoroughly enjoyable, surprisingly so, maybe even?
well, the organizations that were all there, different organizations, the personalities and the sense of humor and just their challenges that they are all facing, all similar. The way they interacted with each other for meeting each other for the first time, that was pretty encouraging.
Yeah, it was.
I'm thinking these are the same type of people, the same attitudes, positive energy, and then they're interacting with each other, and it was great to see. It's like they knew each other already. So that was a great feeling, I think.
It was.
Yeah.
A couple of moments really stood out to me that we didn't anticipate. One of them was the hand sign that you made.
Yeah.
So if you were not there, Donnie made these great big hand signs. It's just a blue hand like this, so that because there were a large enough group of people that if someone raised their hand from the stage, I might not have seen it. So every table had 1 or 2 of these large signs that were laminated with a stick on the bottom of it, just a blue hand like this, and they would hold it up so then I would be able to see it, or Donnie would be able to see it and bring a microphone to them. And folks would ask questions about how to apply some of the things. And being built for the storm doesn't mean everything's good news and everything's easy. And it's not like there's a formula. Well, if you do this and this, everything's wonderful and fine. And there was a complex question toward the end of day 2 that was asked about what do we do if we lose a team member that we've worked so hard to build these great relationships with, and now we feel like we've got to start over. What do we do with that? And basically my response was, that's really hard. It's super hard. You just got to start over, right? And it feels like a death and all that. And then I said to the person who was way in the back, I said, well, was that very helpful? Okay, so he held up the hand to answer the question. But for you to understand what he did there, earlier in the day, one of our friends and participants had come up and asked if we had any duct tape, and Donnie had some.
I had white duct tape and I had black duct tape. Well, the sign that was made was a blue hand with the question mark in the middle, and the background was white. And so when he came up and asked me for some tape, I said, I have black or I have white, and he says, I'll take the white. And I said, okay, great. And so he went off and did his thing.
Didn't
and then
even know what he was going to do with it.
I didn't know what he was going to do with it. And then he brought it back, and I thought, okay.
So what he had done is taken the white tape and taped over the thumb, this finger, and these 2 fingers, and left that middle finger exposed. So at a distance, it looked like a custom sign with just the middle finger. All right, so now I said to the gentleman who asked the question, I'm sorry, that's not good news, but was that at all helpful? He held up the sign like this and then flipped it around so it just had the middle finger with a little twinkle in his eye. So that's my kind of people, right? And it was fun. We had a great laugh at that. The fire pit was really enjoyable.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
It was almost accidental. in the way. We asked if there was a place outside of the venue where we could sit around a fire pit and smoke cigars. And people are so sensitive, you can't be around any kind of smoke, right? So we had to be 20 feet, so we were 20 feet and 6 inches away
25
from the door.
feet.
25 feet, is that what it was? Okay, 25 feet and 6 inches away from the door. We came down a little amphitheater outside of the venue, sat around in chairs, and had a nice fire pit with real wood. It wasn't a gas fire pit, it was really nice. There was, I don't know, 15, 20 people maybe. This was at the end of day one, in the evening, after when I had dinner and we all gathered around and sat around having cigars and talking and telling stories and laughing our head off. And that was an incredibly fun.
Which was really ironic because they're telling us that we need to be 25 feet away from the building because of fire safety reasons.
Right.
And a couple of the people at the fire pit were fire chiefs.
Yes. Which would have been funny.
It would have been funny if something would have happened in some kind of fire.
It was very funny.
Yeah.
It was a great time. We had a wonderful time. And we had not planned on doing a second one until, as we were promoting this first Built for the Storm conference, we heard from a lot of folks, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 people, I don't know, I didn't keep track, who said they couldn't make this one because of the timing of it. And so we thought, well, maybe we should try to do another one.
Well, and some of the people that couldn't make it to this last conference were actually on a waiting list.
Yes.
And so they were so wanting to attend, but because of restrictions on their end, they were on a waiting list. And I think they had probably another 40,
30, 40?
Probably 40 people on a waiting list.
Yeah. So we thought, all right, let's do another one. And at the suggestion of one of our friends named Brad Richmond over in Spokane, we're going to do another Built for the Storm conference. It's going to be April 16th and 17th, 2025, and it's going to be in Spokane. The venue, we'll let you know what that venue is shortly, and it'll be a similar venue to what we had over here on this side of the water, or this side of the mountains, and it will be the same price, $775 for 2 days, and breakfast and lunch is included, and we'll have the same material. This next one is going to be highlighted especially, although the basic material will all be there, we'll cover all the same stuff. We're going to do a special focus around folks who are in public safety, folks who are firefighters, police officers, sheriff's deputies, 911 centers, ambulance folks who are in public safety or planning public safety, and folks who are responsible as stewards of the public trust, however you think about that. Now, it'll be open to everyone, so but that there will be a special kind of a core focus of that, especially on day 2 of the conference. So save the date. April 16, 17 in Spokane, Washington, and you will, if you're not on our mailing list and you want to make sure you get that information, then send Donnie an email, and the email will be below in the comments down below. You'll see his email address, and you can also just go to our website, which is DeHicks.com, and there will be information that will pop up there. And as soon as that is available to you, there will be an early bird price available, but it'll only last a couple of weeks, so you want to jump in and snag that early bird price as quickly as you can.
Yeah, and I'll reach out to everybody and let them know when they can expect that early bird price, just to give you a heads up so you can plan on it. So
there we go.
Well, we appreciate you spreading the word, passing along, and anybody that you think that we might not, maybe we haven't even worked with, that might find this conference engaging and valuable. We appreciate you passing the word.
Excellent. April 16th, 17th, 9 o'clock to 3:30, both those days, and then there will be some fun event that happens on the first night, so you can stick around for that, and we'll let you know what all that detail is as well. So hey, appreciate it. You did a great job. It was delightful to work with you. Excellent.
And you did a great job too.
Congratulations.
I don't have any
You
more.
finished your drinks.
I don't have any more gin.
Is that bad luck to toast somebody with an empty drink?
I don't know.
Right?
I'll just pretend.
Just pretend.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. See
See you
around.
later.